So hello students, today I am going to discuss about this principle of inheritance and variations under which Mendel's law will be discussed. So before that we should know some of the basic terms and understand it before going through the Mendel's law. First, genetics. It is the branch of your biology which deals with the inheritance as well as the variations of character from parents to their offspring. Next, inheritance. It is a process by which characters or traits are passed from parents to their progeny from one generation to the next generation. It is the basis of heredity. And third, variation. It is a degree by which progeny differs from their parents. Means how much they differ from their parents. So, sexual reproduction is the main cause of variation in all living things. So this is the photo of your Gregor John Mendel, who is known as the father of genetics. So he was born in July 22nd, 1822, and he survived till January 6, 1884. So he conducted hybridization experiment on garden pea, which is known as scientifically Pisum sativum, for 7 years from 1856 to 1863, and he proposed law of inheritance. Mendel's observation became the foundation of modern genetics and study of heredity, and he is widely considered as pioneer in the field of genetics, and he is known as father of genetics. So what Mendel did, he took 7 different characters of your pea. So these characters are stem height, tall and dwarf. Dominant is the character which get express itself in the F1 generation, while recessive is the character which don't get express itself phenotypically in the F1 generation, but in F2 it will express. So those characters which don't show themselves phenotypically in F1 generation, they are called as recessive. Then he took flower color, violet and white, flower position, axial and terminal, pod shape, inflated and constricted, pod color, green and yellow, seed shape, round and wrinkled, seed color, yellow and green. These were the 7 different characters which he took. Next, what was his experimental procedure? That Mendel, he observed one trait at a time. He took one trait at a time. For example, he took 12 foot tall into dwarf, and he studied the inheritance of one gene. Then for monohybrid cross, he hybridized plants with alternate forms of a single trait, that is tall and dwarf. So seed produced were developed into filial 1 or progeny F1 generation. Then he self-pollinated. He self-pollinated tall F1 plants to produce your F2 progeny, that is selfing. In dihybrid cross, later he also crossed pea plants with 2 contrasting characters also. So observation on experiment was that, suppose he took this pure tall variety and pure dwarf variety, and then this genotype will be totally your TT and small t. Small t represents your recessive character, and capital T, it represents your dominant character. This is your gametes. From this T, one single T will come here, and from small t, one single T will come. When both are crossed, your TT will get monohybrid, that is, this will be hybrid, but this will be tall. Tall, why? Because tall is a dominant character. The recessive character was not expressed in it. Then in F1, what he did selfing of this, suppose TT into TT. He did selfing. And this is the result he got in the Punnett square or checkerboard, it is also known, where you can see this capital T is tall. This is also tall, but in heterozygous condition, means it's not totally homozygous, and this one is only dwarf. So in phenotypic ratio, he got 3 tall and 1 dwarf, which is known as 3:1 ratio. Means 25% of the population was tall and 25% was a dwarf. In genotypic ratio in F2, he got 1 pure tall, 2 hybrid tall, and 1 pure dwarf. So this is his conclusion when he crossed this 2 different tall into dwarf. So he observed that no mixing of trait was observed. Same result was observed for other traits too. And the trait that appeared F1 was called your dominant, while the trait that observed was expressed in F2 is called recessive. Then what was his inferences? Based on his observation, Mendel's conclusion was that he proposed some factors which passed down from parents to offspring. Nowadays it is known as genes. So genes, then this term was not given. He said that some factor passed down from parents to their offspring. So genes are the units of inheritance. Genes pair for contrasting traits, that is alleles or allomorphic. Suppose this is your for any character. This will be your allele for both are allele to each other. This is also allele to each other. For T, that is small, bigger T, small t. So they are allele to each other. So gene occur in pair, that is dominant factor expresses itself while recessive factor remain hidden only in F1 generation. Okay, allele can be similar in homozygous, dissimilar in case of heterozygous. They are similar in homozygous or dissimilar in case of heterozygous. TT or TT are called genotype, while the term tall and dwarf are called phenotype. Genotype is the sum total of heredity or genetic makeup, while phenotype is the external features which is your seed, while genotype is not same. And only 50% of the gamete containing either allele is there, as the segregation is a random process. During the fertilization, two alleles, T from one parent and small t from the other parents, are united to produce a zygote that has one T and one small t and one capital T allele, or the hybrids, means they are called heterozygous. This will be called homozygous. This is also your homozygous condition. This is for tall, this is for dwarf, and this is a heterozygous, but this is again dominant character. Tall is dominant, therefore it is again phenotypically it will be tall. In true breeding variety, all allelic pair of genes pair for any trait, that is height, shape, etc. are called identical or homozygous. Then this Punnett square. Punnett square was given by British genetics Reginald C. Punnett. So what is this? It is actually a graphical representation to calculate the probability of all possible genotypes of offspring in genetics, that is crossbreed. Here we have taken a heterozygous condition and we have crossed it when selfing has been done, and what the result we have got is shown here. This is your tall variety, this is tall, this is tall, this is your dwarf. This is your heterozygous condition, two are heterozygous, one homozygous. So mathematically in binomial expression it can be calculated in this way. This is square. So expression can be expanded in this way, and we will get that 1/4 out of this 4, 1/4 is your total homozygous tall, 1/4 is total homozygous dwarf, and half of the population will be heterozygous, but that will be your tall. So the phenotypic cannot be predicted seeing this genetic composition. Then he did test crossed. So what this test cross is used? It is used to determine the genotype of an unknown plant. Suppose we don't know its genotype. So unknown dominant genotype is crossed with a recessive parent instead of self-crossing. Here no self-crossing is done. Suppose this is a dominant genotype, and it will be having either your capital PP or small pp, which represents your purple color, and recessive will be you know that it will be small pp. So and then he crossed. If all the offsprings are purple, then we'll get like this one, small p 2 in heterozygous condition 1. If all the pp are purple, we will get all this 4. All the 4 we will get here pp, 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 pp. But if the pp, half of the offspring is here purple and half of the offspring will be your white. In what case? If your genotype is this one. So it can be calculated in this way. Next, I have shown here this: if all the progeny violet, so dominant flower will be homozygous, and if homozygous, only in this condition you will get pp into small pp. And then if it is your in this way, if all the progeny are 1:1, that is 50% is your violet and 50% is white in this case here. So then the flower genotype will be heterozygous. So in this way we can find out the genotype of an unknown. Mendel's law, he proposed 3 laws: law of dominance, which is known as first law, also law of segregation, which is also known as second law, and law of independent assortment, which is also known as third law. So according to law of dominance, Mendel's law of dominance states that in a heterozygote, one trait will remain marked in the presence of another trait for the same character, and the dominant allele will be expressed. The marked one is your recessive. So what were the features of your first law? That it explains the monohybrid cross expression in F1 and F2 generation. Every gene has 2 alleles for a trait. It explains expression of both parental character in an F2 generation, and one allele expressed is known as dominant, while the other unexpressed is known as recessive, which is possible in F1. It explains expression of proportion of 3:1 ratio obtained in F2 generation, and hybrid will always show dominant character. Hybrid will always show your dominant character. What is then law of segregation? Law of segregation states that the 2 alleles of a single trait will separate randomly, meaning that there is a 50% other allele will end up in either gamete. So how did he found this law of segregation? He crossed 2 heterozygous pea plant, which means that each plant had 2 different alleles in a particular genotype position. He discovered a trait in the offspring of his crosses did not always match with the parental plant. This means that pair of alleles encoding the traits in each parental plant has separated or segregated from one another during the formation of reproductive cell. So from his data, Mendel formulated the principle of segregation. So we know that segregation of genes occurs during meiosis in eukaryotes, which is the process that produces reproductive cells called your gametes. Then law of independent assortment, which is third law, it states that when 2 pairs of traits are combined in hybrid, segregation of one pair of character is independent of the other pair of character at the time of gamete formation. It means that during a dihybrid cross of 2 pair of traits, an assortment of each pair of trait is independent of the other. In other words, during gamete formation, one pair of traits segregates from another pair independently. It also produces parental and new combinations of character after getting rearranged randomly. So here is an example. He took 2 parental differed in the 2 pairs of contrasting traits, that is seed color and sheet shape. So round yellow, R for round, Y for yellow. Gamete will be RY, and wrinkled is small r, and again green is small r. In F1 generation, he crossed this round yellow. When he got the F1 generation, that is RYY, he did selfing, and in F2 he got this result. F2 generation, he got this result. How this is done? This is crossed with this, you will get this result. Again with this, you will get this result. Again with this, you will get this result. Again with this, you will get this result. In the same way, again for R's, capital R, small y will cross with this one, this one, this one, this one. In the same way, all the genotypes will get. And he did that. He has given different colors for different characters. Suppose for round yellow, yellow, round in green, wrinkled yellow, slightly yellow with some spots. Wrinkled green also is actually wrinkled, means stringed green. So he got phenotypic ratio like round yellow is to round green is to wrinkled yellow is to wrinkled green in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. But genotypic ratio was 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. So this 4 is what? This 4 is maximum we got in a heterozygous condition, that is R, capital R, small r, capital Y, small. So in this way he got this result. So conclusion, so under classical Mendelian genetics, we came to know that in monohybrid crosses will get 3:1 dominant to recessive phenotypes. In dihybrid crosses will get 9:3:3:1 dominant to recessive phenotype. and genetically linked traits would not assort independently from each other. Incomplete or co-dominant relation will not give Mendelian ratios. So what is this incomplete dominance or co-dominance? As incomplete dominance means, suppose you have taken this pink color and white color, this flower. So you will get in between also one type, which suppose this will be your different color. So it will not, if you have taken red color, this is a flower, and you have taken this white color, and when you make the process in between type you will get a pink color. It is called incomplete dominance. And co-dominance, what happened that I will explain this as co-dominance. So incomplete dominance, F1 hybrid offspring do not resemble any of the parents, but it is intermediate. Like example is snapdragon, the dark flower 4 o'clock. So here you can see that capital R resembles your dominant type, which is your red, smaller white. We got pink in F1 generation, and when selfing was done, we got an intermediate type. This is your pink. So it doesn't resemble any of the parents, neither red nor white. And what is co-dominant? It is a phenomenon in which progeny shows resemblance to both the parents. Instead of one trait being dominant over the other, both traits appears. So here both the traits appear. Some of the examples are like spotted cows and flowers with petals or two different colors, and ABO blood grouping in human beings. So this is the best example, ABO blood grouping in human beings. A and B alleles are their co-dominant, and O allele is recessive. So what will happen? This ABO blood group are controlled by the gene I, and gene I has in 3 alleles, IA, IB and small I, and it will make your 6 different combination. So this small I does not produce any sugar, but IA and B they produce slightly different type of sugar. So a human each possesses any 2 of the 3 gene alleles. So suppose IAA, it will produce A blood type. IA and small I, it will again produce A because IA is dominant over small I does not produce any sugar. So again the phenotype blood type will be A. IBB will be, here also IB, here small I will not express itself, so B blood group. Again IA and B, it will express both. So this is the co-dominance. It is showing co-dominance. Here both are expressing themselves, and small I will O type. So IA and IB are co-dominant alleles. Both I and B are dominant to the allele I. So singly IA and IB will completely dominant, as I does not have any sugar, which I have shown here. So this is the co-dominance condition. So students, lots to learn. Keep learning. It's a very interesting topic. Thank you for watching my channel. If you like it, you can subscribe my channel. Thank you.